I did not say to take off the hats. I just showed what it was. I should have finger spelled hats. And I didn't indicate who was talking either. Jordan.
On the back with the cocaine one. And I'd also like you to have these two, cocaine and crack. If you don't have them, you can bring them with you tomorrow. But the information I give you, then you can write it on the back of the sheet. Okay. That's the farm. Okay? Okay, before we get started, I want to go.
I just realized that I'm supposed to be mouthing these words. I wasn't doing that.
Two things. Frank, take that out, please. Thanks. Let's talk about your private. I have most of your private over there, which I'm
Again, I showed hat take off, but I didn't say what it was, and I just said please, like the teacher was saying that to everybody. I'm not mouthing these English words like I'm supposed to be doing at all. I'm kind of swinging back more ASL at times instead of sticking with the order, the English order like I'm supposed to. I wish I would have had the kid's name that I could have put the letters in there and kind of give him an example, not of actually a descriptive word, but just to show him, you know, like your name, you know, and just do the letters and show them in a downward motion. I think I did a good job of showing how each level here meant, you know, it was kind of going down in her approval with, you know, great, superb, just okay. I think I did a good job of showing that. I didn't do a good job of clarifying points here because I wasn't sure, you know, if I could just use a sign, and you'll see me switch, you know, to just using like a point, like a period, which I'm not sure if that's even correct to use. She was saying it so much, I was trying to find a different way to use it instead of finger spelling it every time. I got my number switched up here. I almost said 2,000 projects. I'm not sure if it was clear in this section when I say out of all 200, you know, 6 to 8 of them were creative. I think I could have set that up a little different. And again, I'm switching back to ASL more than I am English. That section was supposed to show like scissors cutting out, but I was rushing through it so much that it just looks like a sideways 2. I'm sure it would be confusing as to what that was. Instead of cutting out things and putting them on the paper, it wasn't not very clear at all. I should have said if you did the project, you got 5 points instead of if you did the work. I think it would be more specific had I said project here instead of just, you know, if you did the work.
The majority of the ones that came through here were very, very nicely done. I was very, very impressed. I think they were excellent. Second thing is the extra credit. Somebody, by the way, did an extra credit assignment, put it on a white sheet of paper, put a name on it, so I have no idea what the paper is. So if you take one of those, you might want to check it at the end. You had 2 extra credits.
I'm using a lot of ASL structure here, and I'm not supposed to be doing that. It's hard to switch back once you've, you know, we started that way and then, you know, we've been trained not to do that, and it's really hard to continually do that. You have to almost make yourself.
The first extra credit assignment was cleaning out the medicine cabinet, and that was worth 2 points added onto your grades. The article was worth 3 points, so if you did, you may say, well, that's all, but here's what happened.
I stated 3 things here, like there were 3 extra credits when there were only 2. I got mixed up and put up 3 fingers instead of 2 when she was just referring back to the article.
If you did the 2 extra credit assignments and they were done fairly well, and most anyone who did them got the credit, that is 5 points I will add on to your term grade. So if your average at the end of the term is a 75, which is a C, and if you did those 2 things, you just got yourself a B. And that's almost like giving you a grade. So a lot of you did the extra credit assignments and now. Okay? Any questions on that?
This section was a big mess. It was not clear as to the last 5 points, you know, could make your grade, you know, possibly a B from a C. It was not clear, and it just was set up all wrong and very confusing. I was just going back and forth trying to get the information out, and as a result, there was percentages, and it was just very unclear. I fingerspelled practically 2 names back to back, not really saying that the first one, you know, wasn't a good example, you know, and I didn't say much about the second one. I just randomly, looks like, threw out 2 names. Ah, what happened? Oh my gosh. Sorry. I'm not sure what happened. Hold on. Okay, I'll just go from here. Sorry.
Or if it's a small advertisement, put it up on top and then on the bottom. You don't have to write me a 5-page paper. I don't want a 5-page paper. Just cut out the advertisement in 2 or 3 lines, write which technique you think you're trying to use, and explain that. Any questions? Any questions? Anyone else? Now, it's just too far. I will give you till Monday. If you have done tomorrow, hand it in. Otherwise, no sense. Okay? I've gone through each section. Before we wrote this, we talked about the different reasons why people use drugs. Notice we have the categories of emotional reasons, physical reasons, social reasons, and the intellectual reasons. And we had picked out in each category what we thought were key reasons why people did drugs. We did that the last time. Now let's talk about the videotape. Remember the three people in the videotape? Felipe? Okay. The drunk driving. Jill? Using the cocaine at the party. And the little kid, Eddie. Using what? Crack. If you can think back, what were the reasons that those people did the drugs? Think back to, and I know this was last class, it was last week, but think back to Felipe. Remember he was out in his yard shooting the basketball with his friends, so they got in the car and they drove off, and we know they died in a drunk driving accident. Can you remember what he gave? What were some of the reasons he was using the alcohol? And they were all using pot. Think back to what they said. They said some real clear things. Good, right?
He said that because everyone's going to college and everyone's doing
Excellent. Excellent. It's exactly what going to college and all the boys and girls in college do it. That was one of his reasons. He was saying it's okay for me to do it because everybody else is doing it. It's terrific. Yeah. Right. Do you remember exactly how he said that? He didn't say my father. Yeah, if my old man can do it, I can do it. Exactly. So he used that as a reason. That's another one. For fun. Why was he drinking in the first place? Because he made the winning shot in the game. He was celebrating the fact that he had just won the ball game for his team. Celebration. His father was a drinker. All the kids in college did. What were some of the other reasons you think he continued to drink? To show off for whom? Right, his friend, the other kid is, I don't know if the other kid was his brother or the other kid's brother or whatever, but the other two. Well, why don't you think he continued to use it? And they drank, and they went on. Remember they got in the car, they were in the yard.
I'm not sure if that's even the sign for drink. To be honest, I've seen it before, so I was using it